How's it going, everybody? Josh Rosales here, and I'm super excited to have this Zoom call slash podcast. We're going to upload it to our Break Thru U podcast here momentarily after our great conversation with Hannah Rose, Zach Pippin, and John Panur. I'm so excited. These three individuals coming together, talking about all things crypto, digital real estate, NFTs, just how with the current situation in the world, with everything from COVID to Ukraine and everything that's happening, not only is that how it's affecting the stock market, but how it's affecting the cryptocurrency. And for those that are watching and for those that are listening, we're going to give you some information where you can connect with Hannah, Zach, and John to ask further questions, to follow their Instagram pages, Facebook pages, and to be able to have maybe a one-on-one conversation with them and get some one-on-one expertise on this subject. And so what I like to do is, first of all, I want to welcome Jabri Harrison. Jabri is a good friend of mine. David Figueroa is a good friend of mine, and on board of Break Thru Nashville. Jabri Harrison is an author and public speaker. And then without any further ado, Hannah, if you could introduce yourself, and Zach, and then John, if you could introduce yourself, and then we'll dive right into this.
Yeah, hi, I'm so happy to be here. So my husband, Zach, is putting the baby to sleep. So hopefully he can come here in the next couple minutes. But we are crypto enthusiasts, put it that way. And we have been learning about the crypto space for probably the past 2.5 years now, and have really niched down into what we each like the most. But the crypto world as a whole and how transformative it is has really just caught our love and passion for the last 2 years. So we're really happy and grateful to share it.
And so for the last 2 years, you've really been involved with crypto, and kind of just with your, how did you get into the whole crypto thing, or did you like kind of just stumble into it? Or
so I kind of stumbled into it. I started off learning the skill of day trading. And I started off in foreign exchange, and I was like, all right, this is not for me. Like this whole thing is not for me. So I that brought me into trading in crypto. And I was like, okay, I like this a lot more because it's bigger movements. It's a lot easier, and it's a little bit more predictable because you can follow the news and see what it's going to do. And we don't really know the news behind all of our different countries' currencies, right? So that just kind of opened the door, and I started the research from there. So I would say for the first year, we really researched. And then the second year is where we really started to understand, and we were like, all right, let's put some of these things into work. And yeah, it's been a game changer for sure.
That is incredible. I know that I'm still getting used to the whole crypto thing, and it's definitely something that you have to get used to. John, and yourself.
Hey, how you doing? My name is John Pitts. I wear a lot of different hats, I would say, full time. I am a IT professional and Apple certified teacher. Part time, I wear a couple of hats, dealing with real estate, dealing with crypto, personal finance, coaching, and digital media. You know, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. When I started getting into crypto, I would say it was right before crypto hit that first 17.5 or 19. I think it topped out in 1900 or 19,000. I'm sorry. That's when I first got into crypto. So maybe about 4 years or so. Stumbled into it after finally realizing that you could buy fractional pieces of a coin. That was probably my biggest holding. I thought you had to buy a whole coin each time. So that was one of my fallbacks, early crypto investing. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
So with that introductions out of the way, I'd like to dive into it, because you have, I think with crypto, and Hannah and John, you hop in here with crypto. I think you have people that are against crypto. Then you have people that maybe they're against it because they don't know about it. And then you have some people that are dabble into it and they're like, okay, you know, it's something that is foreign to me, but I want to continue it. So they start out being curious about it. And then you have those that like day trading and do it. And then you have those really big into crypto. And I guess you could say that as well with the stock market too. I mean, you have, it's just that right there. But what I'd like to do is just have learn more about you, Hannah, and John, and really just have a discussion on, maybe we could touch on a little bit on NFTs, some digital real estate, cryptocurrency, touch on a little bit, you know, for beginners, intermediate, and then maybe for some people that are really heavily involved in it, and kind of like how you, your passion and what you're doing to help people understand how to invest in crypto. And I'm sure that there's some bad investments in crypto and some good investments, what to watch out for. I know David, he's getting into crypto a little bit more. Not sure, Jabri. Jabri, are you into crypto a little bit?
I'm willing. I need John and Hannah to show me why I need to put my money there.
Sweet. So without further ado, let's just dive into this thing. And Hannah, so you and Zach, you said you've been in this for a couple of years now. And what has really getting into crypto, what have you learned about, the more that you get into it, the more that you know about crypto? Where's that leading you?
So for me, let me see if I'm unmuted. For me, it's this Web 3.0 or the metaverse or virtual reality, right? The next step and the next progression of where our society is going is what really took hold of me, right? And so the same opportunity our parents had whenever the internet came out is the opportunity we have today to get into Web 3.0. And the baseline to crypto in general is decentralization. It's a trust system between me and you, not me, you, and governments, right? And that's something I'm passionate about. And I don't know, the best way for me to, I love all of crypto, but it's so transformative and so big, and it provides so much opportunity for so many people, that as I started getting into it and I started understanding, really it started with the understanding of the blockchain. It was like, wow, this is going to change the game forever.
So what is, let me ask you this, what is the blockchain? Both Hannah, you and John.
Yeah, to me, it cuts out the middleman, and it's trust is between you and me.
Okay.
So in a couple of years, well, I shouldn't say a couple of years, maybe a decade from now would be my guess. You can buy a car, you can buy a house, and it can just be like, hey man, send me Ethereum, or send me Bitcoin, or send me whatever, right? And that's it, purchase done. And the blockchain confirms it. It's a ledger that cannot be ever tampered with. So it's a new way of proving a purchase or proving an ownership of something.
Do y'all think that Bitcoin and crypto will ever be regulated by any government?
I'll let you take that question, John, first, if you want.
With that, if Bitcoin were to be regulated by a singular government, then it would defeat the whole purpose. Just like Hannah was saying, Bitcoin is a digital, decentralized ledger that is transparent for anybody to see. We can right now go upon, a website. I would say, I think Etherscan is a good one for the Ethereum blockchain. But you can literally go and see what is on the blockchain, when a transaction has happened, when it happens, it's immutable. So the power in that decentralized ledger is that if I were to go and transfer Hannah some Ethereum, there is a network of computers that would then process that transaction, validate it, print this information into a block, chain it together it will move over and then another blockchain is formed, then it will move over and another blockchain is formed. I can always go back and see that ledger. Through complex transactions, mathematical equations, and hashing, you are able to verify that blocks are correct by pretty much doing I would say, a compounding expression or an equation that then validates each block as it is being hashed out. So when somebody gets to that block, or when everybody gets that block or that transaction and they're hashing it, if somebody's hash does not match everybody else's, then everybody knows that hash is incorrect. That is the power of blockchain. The fact that it's transparent, nobody regulates it, including a government, and that it pretty much exists outside of a singular country. And that's one reason why governments are opposed to it. But a lot of times you'll see even the U.S. government is actually buying Bitcoin and other assets, or blockchain assets, as I like to call them. I would define a blockchain asset as anything that rests on the blockchain, because a lot of people talk about crypto, but crypto is a subset of the blockchain technology. That is the true technology, like Hannah said, that will allow somebody to, be able to buy a car from Ford, or be able to mine cryptocurrency with their Tesla and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my little spiel on crypto, I would say.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Hannah's like ditto.
Love it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times there's people that, like, it's kind of like, well, it has to be regulated, kind of like maybe it's like marijuana. It's like people want to legalize marijuana, but it's like,
to feel comfortable to get into it.
Yeah. So it's like, how is a currency that cannot be regulated? Like but I mean, I think we're to a point where we're going to have to come face to face that crypto is here, and probably here to stay, depending on how big how big it gets, and when it gets to that point where it's a Loretta is joining. When it gets to that point where we have to, I mean, do y'all feel like we're in that spot where you just have to acknowledge right now that, hey, crypto is here, it's here to stay, and that you're able to, like, do some major purchases? What are some major purchases that you could do right now with crypto? I mean, of course you could buy it, and you can, but
Lil Uzi Vert, maybe his name was, a rapper, just bought a car with Ethereum because he wanted to buy it on the weekends and the bank wasn't open.
24/7 decentralized.
Right.
That is one benefit of it.
Yeah, any two people that are okay with that kind of transaction can do it right now.
So let me ask y'all this question. So what all goes into I guess the crypto? I don't know if it's the crypto family, or like you have cryptocurrency, then you have digital real estate, and then you have
blockchain
NFTs,
assets.
blockchain. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about assets. What's that? What's blockchain assets? Because I have no idea.
So like everything you just said was a blockchain asset. Again, that's what I was saying.
Oh wow, look at that.
Earlier. Everybody talks about crypto this, crypto that, but crypto is a smart contract or a protocol or a utility, depending on the coin, that is built upon a certain blockchain. And when I say blockchain, there are several blockchains. You have the Ethereum blockchain, you have the Solana blockchain, you have Bitcoin blockchain, and there are other blockchains. I'm speaking from a developer standpoint because I do a little bit with smart contracts, but it's just a lot of different things with that. So when I say a blockchain asset, think about, a real estate asset. It could be a house, it could be a duplex, it could be a triplex, it could be a commercial building. All of those are real estate assets, just like NFTs. Well, an NFT is a subset. Well, digital real estate is a subset of an NFT, which is on the blockchain. And I say that because, and I'll get into an NFT. NFT is a non-fungible token. So crypto, if I had a Bitcoin, if you had a Bitcoin, if they had a Bitcoin, there's no difference if we swapped Bitcoins. It would all have the same store value, just like it is. Same thing with Ethereum, same thing with any other coin. But now, if I had an NFT, if you can scroll down a little bit.
Yep, let me do it right now.
And so if somebody had an NFT of a digital, keep going down till you see the green kangaroo. If somebody had a NFT of a digital piece of real estate, that would be different than my Jumping Jack Kangaroo. I'll go ahead and say it. The Kangaroo is an NFT that gives me the utility of it. There it is right there. Having this Kangaroo, there's a person named Prince Donald who has a tax network, Jumping Jack Taxes, that has a Web 3.0 platform. By me having this NFT, when I sign up for his tax services, not only do I have this nice piece of artwork that's mine, but I actually get 30% off of his tax services. So the reason why I said that, if I had that NFT versus somebody having, a 5x5 lot in Decentraland, or which is a metaverse, or inside of Sandbox, that's two different values. Are you by beach? Are you in the middle? Are you by street? It's just a whole bunch of different value. So when I say NFTs, an NFT is a non-fungible token that cannot be replicated, imitated, or recreated on a blockchain network, whichever blockchain network it is.
So this is an NFT right here.
This is an NFT. I actually got 4 of them. I got a little happy.
I was just about to say, where do you get it on OpenSea? Is it on Ethereum?
You can now get them there, but I'm kind of into what he was doing. I've been following for a while, so I actually was able to mint 3 of them, and I bought 1 of them. So, and I mean, again, I'll speak about that. The reason why I got into crypto by far is one of the fastest performing assets that I've ever dealt with. I only keep 15. This is not stock advice, solicitation to buy anything or anything like that. But the reason why I get into crypto, I keep about 15 to 20% of my portfolio in there because it's prone to such volatile swings, if you will. Like, it can go up very fast, down very fast, especially NFTs, even though they've kind of been holding their value through all of this. But yeah.
Wow.
For you guys. They say that crypto is supposed to be like a hedge against inflation. But recently, as we see, it's been kind of going with inflation.
Yeah.
It's like it's right now it's down, and for various reasons, a lot of people are scared. Some are absolutely opposite. They're like, great, I'm taking advantage of the discount right now, and I'm going to stock up as much as I can. But with the volatility, like you said, why isn't it more stable? Isn't that what it was created for, to be more stable than let's say Forex, and things like that?
I agree with that. I would say this is wartime. And, with my age, this is my first war. I mean, I wouldn't say first. This is the first one that I'm cognizant about. So we're seeing that gold is actually working better in this situation than digital gold, which is Bitcoin. So this is something that everybody's kind of keeping their eye on. But one thing I will tell you is that, us as retail investors, what we do in the market really doesn't matter. It's all about what, it's all about what institutional investors do. So as we're seeing people like JP Morgan, Kathy Woods, everybody, Tesla, everybody's buying, more cryptocurrency. People like Apple and Google are hiring blockchain specialists. It's kind of like the writing is on the wall. Like Hannah said, it's kind of like a period of time where, with the .com crash and the .com bubble, everything from the first generation of the internet or internet 2.0, it's like you can kind of get in and take that risk. It may go down a little bit more, but over time, in the next 10, 20 years, it's definitely something that you might be kicking yourself for that you didn't invest to. Like, I mean, just think about it. Staples back in the day was amazing. Nobody talks about Staples, but everybody's talking about the crypto.com arena right now. And it's just purchases like that, multiple exchanges that have billions of dollars of backing, who are trying to go public, stuff like Binance.com, Coinbase, Celsius, just metaverse. I mean, not metaverse, but MetaMask. It's just a whole bunch of different things that are tying into, and some things may not be here in the future. Some things will. I would just tell people to kind of focus on the bigger ones like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But to answer your question and to wrap up, it's something that you just kind of have to take a risk on and say, will this continue to go in an upwards direction over time, even though it's rough waters? And should I take advantage of this dip right now, or this, flat line period, because it can only go up or down after this. And it's just, what happens first, if you will. But yeah, does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. That's what I got.
I think the reason why, sorry to cut you off, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I just think the reason why we say it hedges against inflation is because it's a one amount, right? Like with our US dollars, we can keep printing and keep printing and keep printing. There's only ever going to be, 29? What's our Bitcoin number, John? How many Bitcoin are we at, and how many Bitcoin are ever going to be in existence?
My bad about that. I think 21 million, 23 million, 24 million. It's a finite amount of that. So it's kind of supply and demand.
Right. So once it's out, it's out. Like once they've mined it all, that's it. There's no more created. So that keeps the value high.
So we got a few more, we have a few more people that have joined us. I want to say we have Chicken. We also have Loretta. Any other questions out there that anybody has in regards to what we were just talking about? Okay, well, the other thing that we were talking about is the digital real estate. So the blockchain, we just talked about the blockchain, and then Hannah, we were just talking about digital real estate. And I think this is what you had me go to, right?
Yep, that picture right there. So I'm looking heavily into a metaverse called NFT Worlds. And NFT Worlds it's a token, but it's also a collection of 10,000 NFTs built on Minecraft. And so because Minecraft is open source, it's massive plots of land. It's exponentially bigger than the current two metaverses that are kind of leading the way right now. And anyone who owns these NFT Worlds NFTs can build on top of them and create their own metaverse within NFT Worlds' bigger metaverse system, right? And so that specific NFT is built on an NFT world, and it's built through Minecraft. So any gamers out there that like to build on Minecraft,
so Minecraft,
that whole house right there is built on Minecraft.
Wow.
Yeah.
My son spends hours and hours, like he's really good in school, plays football, but the guy spends hours and makes these incredible stuff. And so, man, this is crazy.
If you could do me a favor, Josh, because since I'm on my phone, if you could go to OpenSea.io for me.
Let's do that.
And I can show you the collection of NFTs. So because you have an appreciation for Minecraft, which I did not.
Open SEA.
Yep, .io. All right, should be that second one.
Let me move this over.
And I'll show you guys the NFT world. So then in the search bar, in the search OpenSea, type in NFT space worlds. All right, that first one. Yep. You can see the cheapest NFT world you can get at the moment is 10.48 Ethereum. There's over 40,000 Ethereum traded within this collection. But if you scroll down, you can see all the different worlds. So a lot of NFT collections are like buying up these worlds and building experiences on top of them, which is the one that you see on my profile. But just all of those are built on Minecraft, right? And then you can build, you can go to minecraft.com and put in your world number that you own and build on top of it.
So people
or if you're priced out of 10.48 Ethereum, buy an NFT like mine, and I can tear that house down and rebuild it.
And the floor for this for
what's
acquisition
the purpose
is 10
for the
Ethereum.
floor for the world?
So since the floor price is so high, I mean, I think 10 Ethereum right now is around, if you click on one of those worlds, it'll tell you, I think around 30, 40 grand. What is that, 35? Yeah. So obviously a lot of people get priced out of that. These once were $200 and sat around the $200 mark for about 3 months. So anyway, if you are priced out of a 10.48 Ethereum price, you can buy a parcel through an NFT collection is what I did. Or you can buy a little section of that NFT world, if that whoever the owner of that NFT world is, and they choose to do that through NFTs, you can buy a section of them.
Then what's the point of it? I mean, what are you going to do in the world? What's the point of the world? Is it all still a game? Is it Does it have real world applications?
Everything you
What
can
does it-
imagine in the real world will happen in digital. So as of now, yeah, it's just a game, right? Like it's just a game like Sandbox or Decentraland, two big metaverses that are kind of leading the way right now. But everything you can do in the real world, like McDonald's already bought up, I think, a dozen locations in the metaverse. So just imagine going up to McDonald's and you're on your couch, ordering what you want, and then it ships right to your door. Or Domino's is another one that went through.
How's that different than just doing it online, or something like that? What's going to be
It's-
the
Friends and the other bit of society is going to be there. Everybody's going to be there.
Yeah. That's just one slice of the pie, right? Like, and it opens up a whole new way of earning potential as well. So by interacting in these worlds, whether it's one metaverse versus another, you'll be able to earn money through that as well.
So Hannah, let me ask you, you said that you bought a single parcel within the world. How do we do that?
White Sands, if you go to White Sand Parcel.
In OpenSea?
Yeah, White Sand Island, if you look that up, John, go to whitesands.game and you can see the whole system. I'm in a mastermind group with the creator of this project. But yeah, you can go there and I can send you the info too through Instagram. But that's where I got that house and that parcel.
So people really will pay $35,000 for that.
Oh, easy. That happens every day. If you go, are you still on that page? Hold on, let me see. Are you still on OpenSea? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
then go back to click that little blue NFT world at the top.
Okay, right
Above
here.
the world number, right there. Yep. Here's a little tip for anybody that's wanting to learn about NFTs. You scroll down a little bit, Josh, you'll see the word activity right there.
Yep, right here.
Yep. And that shows you all the sales. The beauty of the blockchain and beauty of crypto is it's all, you scroll down a little bit, you'll see every sale and how much they paid for it. It's all
And this is all true. These are facts. These are people's hashes and wallets and transactions. And when you actually log on to OpenSea, right now, you'll see that you just don't create a Google, account for this. You have to connect with the wallet, preferably MetaMask, to be able to do it. And then whenever you've done anything or when you buy or sell it, it goes to your wallet connects. So that's why it's very vital for you to make sure you're being diligent with keeping your private keys, private and whatnot, and getting a ledger and whatnot, and just being able to store these, just cold storage. Yeah, it gets deep on the security side.
Oh yeah.
Complex phishing attacks, very complex phishing attacks.
So my son, who is spending hours building like these mansions and these crazy things, he could be selling them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Happens
It might take
every
a little
day.
bit of time and a little bit of background, but I mean,
NFTs aren't so much about the artwork anymore. They've really truly progressed into the utility. Like John was showing us what his NFT did for him, right? Every NFT I hold has a strong utility of some sort. It gives me something in return for holding it. So you don't see as much of the stories of, oh, this 12-year-old girl created pictures of girls with long necks and she made $7 million, right? Because she made really cool artwork and she had a cool story. NFTs have progressed in such a short amount of time to really be about the utility. And a lot of utility we see nowadays is in Web 3.0 metaverse type of utility.
So more art, more I don't want to say professionalism, but what would you say, more
utility.
It's just about the utility. It's what it can do for the people. Yeah.
Like say in another situation, like imagine you have crypto. And this is probably like one of the most feasible or the most realistic ways to think about crypto. So say that, okay, you have.
And John, you can share. We have it. I can stop sharing it. You can share. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't have any slides prepared for today. But yeah. So crypto.com. So think about their arena, right? So say if they want to say, okay, if you want to buy a ticket, we'll give you 30% off if you buy this ticket in Crow, CRO, not giving you any investment advice or anything like that. This is the native coin to crypto.com, just like BNB, Binance coin, or I think they changed that, is native to Binance or Binance.us. So say if they wanted to say, because they have that real world real estate, if you buy a ticket, not only with your wallet, not only do we know your wallet, we'll give you an NFT for your ticket. So that way, when you come here, you will always have a digital piece of, I wouldn't say real estate, but, a digital token of that ticket. So imagine if you get that game token, you get to the game, and imagine just the most amazing thing happens in that game. I'm going to say Michael Jordan, even though he's not, yeah, Steph Curry hits like a, something crazy. So say you have that in the next 5 years, that utility that you had of that as a souvenir, just like somebody might say a ball or something. Imagine that you had like a digital token from that event that signified that event. Just that is one value of the NFT and one real world event example of how we see an exchange kind of changing how we're doing stuff. And that can also happen with cars and stuff like that. I just haven't heard anything but a car dealership, taking that type of step like crypto.com did. But yeah.
Well, think about any musician's concert, right? We can buy a ticket to their concert as an NFT. I was just talking to someone about this the other day, right? I mean, this is just where it can go, right? And then instead of throwing the ticket on the ground when you're done with it, as you're leaving the concert, you have that in your wallet as an NFT, and then you can sell it to the next person who wants to go to his next concert on the tour or wherever, right? So it's like there's so much NFTs will be, and because of the blockchain, we can prove the ownership.
Unquestionably, undoubtedly,
yeah,
prove the ownership.
Anybody out there got any questions for Hannah or John as we're having a conversation?
On one angle, you guys are saying that everything's visible and you can see, but isn't it also more private at the same time? Where the government can't see those things, really, can they? Unless they have access to your wallet.
Right? Not exactly.
Correct. Go ahead, John.
So
you're good.
You're anonymous, so I don't know who owns this wallet, but at the same time, I can see that wallet received it. So through the fact, because it's like that, we can say that there was an article where somebody sold a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT by mistake for, I think, 300 or 30,000 instead of 300,000, just because they misplaced some decimals and stuff like that. So everybody was able to see and know that. We don't know who it was, but we know that it happened because the ledger itself is, you can see what happens, just like we were able to see everything that happened with that specific collection of NFTs just based on seeing the activity. And we know this isn't like a bank where somebody could have made a mistake or it's subject to change. Like once it's there, that is there forever. That happened. It cannot be changed or anything. And another step that the IRS is taking, they're hiring specialists that are able to link people with wallets. So again, it's anonymous. I don't know who is ABWXGY89, but if I have that government power and I can, tell Coinbase to give me a list of all their wallets, then it's kind of easy to start, figuring out who is who, unless you have something like a ledger or some type of other cold storage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so cold storage, the difference between cold storage and wallets, you might want to say that, right? Cold storage
is a wallet. Yeah, cold storage is a type of wallet. Hot, you have warm, cold, and hot. No, warm, warm, cold, hot. Yeah, warm, cold, hot.
So the cold is your own wallet. That's not linked to any particular website. It's not connected to Coinbase, Binance, or anything. It's your wallet. You hold it, and no one can track that wallet, that ownership of that wallet when it's cold, right?
Not exactly. So the thing about a cold wallet, that means that it's not connected to the internet at any given point in time. It is not, so nobody can access it. Now, through that same example, if you were in, again, a cold storage wallet is a hardware wallet, like a USB flash drive or some type of small piece of technology that you can remove away from something. It can even be, written on paper in a certain extent, or your private keys can. But so that is a cold storage wallet. The benefit of that is nobody can ever go into it and hack it because it's not connected to, the internet, unless somebody physically took it. And even if they did not have your keys or your private keys, they could not get into it. So you can still be tracked IRS wise and everything like that, but it's significantly harder for somebody to take that unless they physically take it from you because it's not connected to the internet. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And then a hot wallet or a warm wallet, I would compare a warm wallet to the Ledger. I think it's the Ledger X. So
Nano X.
Yeah, the Ledger Nano X. It has Bluetooth, so it's a cold storage piece of hardware. It's a thumb drive and whatnot, but it has Bluetooth. So at your will, it can become a hot wallet or it can remain a cold wallet, deeming it a warm wallet. So when I talk about a hot wallet, that is something that is strictly on an app. So, or some type of, technology. So MetaMask, I don't physically hold MetaMask. It's a software that, stores my blockchain assets, NFTs, crypto. Same thing with Coinbase's wallet and everything. And there is a fourth item that I am going to tell you about. That is exchanges. When you have your assets on exchanges, you do not necessarily own those assets. You have the value of it and whatnot, but you do not have the private keys for it. You can then transfer that over to, your wallet, whether that be hot, warm, or cold, and then you can get the keys to that. But yeah. Also, he's on my link tree right here. I have a free Money Talks light ebook there if anybody wants to learn a little bit about how I look at finance and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the book right there. Free download, free. Oh yeah, cool. That is that is my spiel.
Yeah, if you're never given your private keys, that's just a easy way to tell that you don't actually own that crypto. So you want to make sure that you get, I personally, not financial advice, right? But that's just how I feel. I want to put my money in a place where I actually have those private keys and I own and control that crypto.
And playing devil's advocate, I agree with that. Not a but what I am doing with a portion of my crypto, I'm actually using an app called Celsius.
Yeah.
So I don't own the keys with it, but I'm actually earning interest on my crypto with apps like Celsius. And this is called staking your crypto. And this is another value of, blockchain, just the fact that you can stake it, which means that you can't move it or transfer it or move or do anything to it. I then get, interest in the form of bits and pieces of crypto, or I could be taking a loan out on my own crypto. It's a lot you can do with Celsius. So I kind of keep that relationship going with them. But yeah, the goal is like, if you have no utility with what your crypto is doing, like if you're not staking it, if you're not, getting interest on it, if you're not about to buy something, you should probably have it in cold storage. But if not, have it on some type of huddle mode or something. That's what I do on Celsius. So it will take 48 hours after you disengage huddle mode with the one-time key, to be able to transfer crypto out. So it's kind of like an extra buffer of protection. So yeah.
Yeah.
I've got two that are staking. I guess I got Nervos and Yoroi. So those are, I have the keys to those. But then I can't move another one coin that I own because it's so expensive to move it through Ethereum, and it's such a cheap product that it almost costs me more in gas fees to move it and stake it than what I have at the moment.
Wait until it rises to move it. If it's a coin that's down right now.
Yeah,
that is one strategy. Yeah. And then another thing, go to if you type in on Google Ethereum gas tracker, you'll be able to see when gas prices are higher. I will tell you, during the middle of the day, I know crypto is 24/7, but during the middle of the day is peak times, especially between 6 and 9, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and also about 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. But if you catch maybe a 2 a.m.
12
spot,
to 2 is
try
nice.
to do some moving then. Yeah, 12 to 2. Yeah, 12 to 2. Yeah, if you hit up in that spot, you'll actually see lower gas prices because you're not competing for somebody to get it. And that's the point of gas prices. And sometimes when you're swapping stuff, you can actually, if the gas price is $20 to transfer something, you can actually say, well, I would rather pay 30 so this happens quicker and you'll get booted up. Because if I'm a miner or somebody who's over these nodes that's processing the transaction, why would I do this $20 transaction when I could just do this $30 transaction and then I could get that type of, get that higher bump in it. So that's kind of from the mining side.
So why are these numbers? So here at the gas fees, the fast, standard, and slow, like they keep switching.
They change. It
Change
updates
all the
like
time.
I said, just like a stock market, man. Like, I mean, right now. So if you really want your crypto, your transaction to happen, you would want to set up your gas fee to be around 56 or 60. And I know you use this specific site, but let's just say it's dollars. So say in order to do a transaction and you want it to happen right now, right at this second, you need to pay 60. Right at the second, you need to pay 60. If I wanted a standard 47, if I didn't care and it could take, you know, longer than 30 minutes, then I could pay 44, or less than 30 minutes. I would say, I'm sorry. Well, right now it just
But
bumped up to
it's all
63.
traffic too.
57.
So if you wait for lesser traffic times, you won't pay as much typically.
Wow.
There's a
It
lot
gets
to
very
keep track of.
variable.
It's like get mind numbing sometimes trying to follow everything. It really does. It's like, goodness.
It definitely takes time, but it comes together. I can promise you that.
It's like, how's most of the world going to be able to keep up with this? You know, it's like, you really think about, yeah, we're really looking into it. We can do it, but probably,
I don't think,
you know, the most of the world is 5% of the world, you know, is rich, and the other rest is, you know, lower income, what we would consider to make less than what, 30,000 a year, whatever. Seems like it's going to be like that for crypto. It's like only the educated are going to be in the know and do it, but most of the people are going to have no idea what's going on and be able to keep up.
that's why, that's the power of educating, because that's the power. We all have the same, we're all on equal playing field right now. There are people that can buy a crypto for significantly less than $1. And so it is opening. Yes, the education is, it's time consuming for sure, but just like anything, if we want to be successful in anything, you have to educate ourselves. And
even with stocks, just like stocks.
Yeah, no matter what it is. But crypto is such a beautiful time, because there are people that have gone from nothing to something they can actually work with in this space because they got educated. And the beauty of the internet is you can get educated for free.
Yeah, man. Just watch 20 YouTube videos.
Go down the rabbit hole.
It's really, and it's pretty much simple to that. And I mean, for anybody who just is like, I don't want to do all of this. This is hard. I don't understand it. It can be so simple. All you have to do is realize what your budget is, how much it costs you to live a month, how much you make a month, get that difference, see what else you spend money on, and then set aside $25 to $50, not investment advice, and put it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Don't worry about anything else. Just do that every time you get paid for, let's say, 6 months or so. I would maybe even longer, because that's what I did. And just seeing how it grew so fast, it made me realize that this is something big. This is something that I now am staked in. So I have a different drive to learn more about it. So after I got my feet wet in that, then it's like, okay, well, if it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, what are these? You know, you'll probably know that by the time you've done it a couple of months or so. How can I get into something bigger? What are their utilities? And what else is there out there? So it's all about just starting somewhere, even with investing in stock. Like, you know, the first thing you're not going to do is go on like a 2-year leap on Tesla, you know, just start options trading or something with it. You would tell somebody you should probably start investing into the S&P 500, you know, something, you know, again, not investment advice, but you would tell somebody to do something that was broad, simple, and something that has proven success rather than be risky and, you know, put it all in on Doge, if you will. And Doge does have utility. I'm not going to shame it, but, you know, it just depends on where you're getting into it, what you're doing. And is this your first investment that you're doing all in Doge, or have you been investing and this is just another piece of your portfolio, if you will? But yeah.
And I also think too, as we progress, we're still so early in this space, and a lot of people, it's Wild West, right? Because it's just a ton of people are emerging in it. A ton of people that don't really know what they're doing and just trying to get a quick buck, right? And then you've got the people that are in it for the long term and really see the long-term value in it. I think as time progresses, it's not going to be this crazy. There's going to be things that last, and there's going to be things that don't. And so I think the ones to focus on, like John was saying, are those ones that are tried and true, that have proven themselves over the past decade, and just stick with that. So it's a lot simpler in your mind, and because you're never going to, like, there's still, every single time I sit down and I research crypto, I learn something new. So, and I know there are people that say the same thing and have been doing it way longer than me. So
my different angle on that, not disagreeing with that at all, but I'd looking, if I were to buy, you know, $500 of Bitcoin right now, and it were to go up to $100,000, how much would I make on that? $1,000. But if I were able to purchase after due diligence, right, purchase a token or a coin that's slightly different, maybe a slightly different blockchain that seems to have very good promise and whatnot. And I was able to get in at a lower price. If that were to go up, $100 or whatever, that's a significant difference, depending on what I buy it at, I guess, than some of the bigger ones. So that's where education and research comes in very, very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. One thing that I'll say right there, just hearing how you talk, it doesn't sound like this would be your first investment though. And that's the biggest thing that I try to tell people. Like, if this is your first time investing, if you want crypto to be where you started, that's one thing. But I wouldn't say do hours and days of research looking for a singular coin. It's just by the time you do that for a year or two, somebody's going to ask you, where would you have been if you just would have put $20 or $25 a month or a paycheck into, a good project or into a good position? And you'll look at it like, been chasing this dragon for so long, maybe I should have just kind of done that. Because just slow and steady long-term investing, that has always proved to be the best thing. And we have to just take it back. Just think of people like Warren Buffett. Like, this has always been the practice. This is the same thing. Even with real estate, people don't buy, a 80-story building in the middle of Manhattan and sell it in 3 to 4 years. They're holding that for 20 years, or just sometime like that. So when you're doing smaller projects and penny stocks, it's okay to do that. But again, let that be a portion. And that's just kind of the way I do it. Just as a person who's tried to do that and tried to put in those hours and those times, like, yeah, you can get lucky, but you can also lose all your money unless it's just like a, speculative position. But I just, again, try to warn people away because, again, there are cases where people can actually run out on the bag. You may do all your research. It may be a good project and it may hit that pop. But what if the developers in this new project aren't trusted, aren't vetted, and they run off on everything? It's just that's happened as well with Squid Coin and stuff like that. So like she said, it is really the wild, wild west out here. And I would rather put all my money in my life in Apple and Bitcoin rather than Squid Coin or, something that's not really showing it. And it just, again, depends on your risk appetite, how your portfolio is allocated and all that other type of stuff. If that makes sense.
There's also some coins that have a really, really good use case that are not as expensive as Bitcoin or Ethereum, but they're really strong and from research have a really strong future. And they're trusted developers, trusted team, right? So I would kind of, if you were wanting to research something, that would be the next thing, not research or investment advice, but that would be the next thing I would look at, just because that's what I look at myself. Are the coins that have a really, just like NFTs, a strong utility. You want to see a coin with a really strong use case and ask yourself what problem they solve in the world.
So this is some great conversation. I have one last thing. So I heard someone say something about comics, like DC Comics. Is there crypto and like investing in comics, stuff like that? Is that go together, or is that something that maybe I heard someone say something about that. I don't know, it could totally be off the wall, but I was like, I'm gonna bring it up.
You mean like a comic book? Like comic books?
I don't know if it was comic books, but it had to deal with comics or with I don't know, it dealt with comics and in crypto or NFTs or something like that. I was like, people are investing in that. It's totally off the wall. I probably misunderstood them, but I was like, I'm gonna ask.
It could be. Listen, NFTs are what it sounds like it could be combined with, right? Whether it's a comedy show where you're buying a ticket, or it's a comic book, or a page of a comic book, or a drawing of a comic that represents an old comic book, right? Like that's most likely through an NFT.
That's what it is. Yeah. So an NFT,
buy any of this stuff with NFTs and crypto.
So you can buy a page or a comic book.
Absolutely.
And then you're an owner of that book. And if that comic book, the more it goes up in value, the more money you make.
True. Yep.
Wow.
As long as you
potentially make if you sell it, right? If you're just holding,
you want to sell it, yeah.
It's going up in
or
value,
some of them,
you're not making anything.
Some of you can earn passively on NFTs as well. It just depends on, again, the utility behind the NFT. Same thing with music. You can own a piece of music from a song. That's an NFT.
Wow. Dr. Stephanie, I'm so glad that you're able to join us. Stephanie is a doctor of physical therapy.
Oh, wow.
She has been a good friend of mine, and she has very intellectually, very smart. Really quick, Stephanie, won't you introduce yourself? Oh, okay. She's muted. Stephanie, you're muted. Here we go.
Hi, Josh already introduced me. So I'm actually, it's Stephanie Eusebio. I'm a neurophysical therapist. I've been doing a lot of things like, clinician, and I'm also a clinical instructor for 2 universities right now. So I had fun listening. I feel so educated about this. I had no idea what these were. And so I was going into the websites and really just playing some YouTubes and learning. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this and listening in.
John and Hannah, Stephanie's on Facebook. It should be great to connect with, especially if you have questions on the physical therapy side. Very, very knowledgeable. I'm like, Stephanie, my back is out. She's like, okay, Josh, do step 1, step 2, step 3. And I'm like, oh man, I feel better. It's a miracle. I feel like I went to a Benny Hinn crusade and he like threw his jacket on me and I like, man, I feel good. Yes. But
Are you
no,
local to Nashville, Stephanie?
I am in Franklin,
Awesome.
right? Yes.
Oh,
Franklin.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, Stephanie's a really good connection. Jabri Harrison is also a really, really good connection to have. He is in Murfreesboro. And then David is a very good connection. He has great connections, a network. He's also in Murfreesboro as well. And then let me see who else we have on here. Stephanie, David, let's see here. And I think that is Loretta.
Loretta is my friend. Loretta is not local to Nashville. She is one of our biggest supporters, my husband and I. She's a good friend of mine. And she's in, Loretta, you're in Minnesota, right? So we had someone come in from the outside.
That's cool. I just want to say, as we're wrapping up here, Hannah, how can someone reach you, connect with you, carry the conversation on, maybe meet with you on a regular basis, or just kind of follow what you're doing?
Yeah, Facebook is my biggest platform for sure that I have the most connections on, so to speak. So any message there, anyone can message me there. And then of course, Instagram as well. It's Han_Pippins. And then Hannah Rose on Facebook.
Awesome. Definitely.
It's HANNAH.
And I connected with Hannah on Facebook, which I do a lot, just scrolling through my friend list. I got my friends on Facebook and Instagram, but they're also my prospects because of our nonprofit that David and I, we sit on the board of Break Thru Nashville. It's a nonprofit organization that provides services and resources to the Hispanic community with education. And so we really dive in deep there. But I'm looking for just individuals that can really provide resources and can come on and just help, because there's a lot of people that are interested in crypto and interested in investing and different things. If we can bring on maybe having a group discussion, we can get some stuff out of it. So Hannah and I met through Facebook, and it was a really good connection.
Oh, absolutely.
John, if someone is wanting to connect with you, John, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, anybody on this call, if y'all want to connect with me, I dropped in my link tree. I'm Pitchpreneur on everything, pitchpreneur.com, Pitchpreneur on Instagram, Pitchpreneur on Facebook, Pitchpreneur on Twitter. just Pitchpreneur everywhere. Pitchpreneur.com. But yeah, you can just find me anywhere there. So I try to be good on branding. And again, I specialize in teaching people how to code. Again, an Apple certified teacher. I also do financial education. I had a time in a life as a corporate banker, if you will, and stuff like that in the past life. So experienced as well. And then also do digital design and stuff like that. Even this flyer that we have for today. So anything like that, that's kind of my realm. So if anybody wants to connect with me, you can just find me there.
My husband reached out to you about coding because that is something he is looking at the moment.
And this is what it's all about. It's all about connecting.
Yeah, I love it.
It's all about connecting.
Yeah.
So John, Trent and I are working on getting you up here to Franklin. I already have the hotel. I have the hotel. It's going to be in Cool Springs, Baker's Bridge. We're going to do a live podcast. And Hannah, I want you and Zach to be a part of it.
Oh, we would love that.
And then I'm going to get a group, working on getting a group of maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 at the max, just people to kind of sit around. I have the vision to just make it all happen. So we're working on it together. And it would be cool just to have you, John, Hannah, and Zach just sitting around, just talking like we're doing now with individuals around, and then answering questions and just having maybe an hour and a half just conversation. I think it would be really, really good. Some people I might have to pay in cigars, but it'll be worth it.
This is a treat to me. I could do this all day long. So we're in on that.
No. So any final questions from anyone out there before we start wrapping it up? And this is just some great stuff. And I know, David, I know you're taking it all in. Jabri, any questions? Anything that you want to say?
Yeah, y'all just continue to be great. Be your unique self no matter what. You know, you guys are a blockchain and within yourself. And I'm glad that you guys invest in yourself, continue to invest, and it'll pay off.
It's a good message.
Good message.
Thank you.
Hey, let me ask y'all this really quick. How do you see and how do you see this with younger people, youth? Maybe like, do you see an interest in teens, young adults, maybe like early 20s? Like, how is this playing out?
I think if you take it back, okay, listen to something the other day by Gary Vaynerchuk, and he said it so perfectly.
Oh, I love Gary V.
Yeah, he said he's very big on NFTs, and not so much 20 age, but go even younger than that, right? He said, and I won't get it verbatim, but he talked about how we communicate in everything that we purchase, we wear, how we cut our hair, to whether we have a beard or not, what shoes we wear, what purses we buy, right? And when you look at the young generation right now, they're communicating almost fully through gaming. What I guess they're called like skims or something in a game.
Yeah.
Or yeah, right. Like, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. But when you think about how kids are creating stuff within games, that's how they're communicating with each other, right? They're proud of themselves because they created this mansion on Minecraft, or they have this new scam on whatever, Roblox, or whatever these things are. This is how they're communicating. And all of these games are entering the metaverse. And so when we think about how massive this is going to be for the future, just remind yourself that's how the youth is communicating right now. And if all of that stuff is built on or in the metaverse, you can only see how big it's going to be.
No, that's totally true. Because I know my son, like, I could go in his room right now and he's like playing multiple people online.
Yep.
Whipping their backsides. Like, he's just building, like he's a gamer. And
yep.
I didn't even know that there was a Twitch or Switch or something.
Yeah, a whole platform dedicated
to
streaming.
Yeah, and his high school has a video game gamers club that you can join, and they do
That's cool.
travel and do tournaments and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
That's
this
real
is
cool.
just insane. He's like, Dad, you know, I can make some big money doing this stuff. And I'm
You
like, you know,
can.
that doesn't surprise me now. I said, because like all you need is this right here. Like
Yeah.
all you need is this right here. You can I mean, you make money off of anything nowadays. So it's like
Yeah.
but it's just incredible. And my son, he's 16, really into that. And so it clicks. And he's talking sometimes about he was talking about some NFTs the other morning on my way to dropping him off to football practice. And I'm just like, that is really cool. I'm trying to turn him on to Gary V, and get him really very curious and very curious about these things. So I mean, that's cool. I just think that a lot of our young people, um, are starving for this kind of knowledge, and then they put it to use, and they can do some amazing things.
Oh yeah.
So
There's a lot of opportunity.
so let me
Right.
before we go,
What was your question
John,
one more time, Josh? I wanted to touch on one thing. Don't mind.
About how kids and younger generations will adopt it.
yeah.
One thing that I'll say real quick, man, if you just kind of look at, what the kids are doing, like, and just kind of thinking about just adults, if you will. But if you think about my age, it's kind of a little bit easier for me to say, well, let me go and buy some digital currency and whatnot. But when you look at kids, even my little brothers for their birthdays, they wanted real money so they could buy fake money, or not fake money, just, digital money already to get what they wanted. So they were already, the idea of me taking USD and turning it into Roblox bucks or Call of Duty coins or anything, all of that is already ingrained in their head. So they want that for that. That's how they deal with things. Me, I'm like, okay, I understand, I'll do it, I'll, whatever. But somebody old like my grandparents, they're like, why am I giving you money for you to buy clothes that you're not ever going to wear, stuff like that. So it's just, as we see kids grow, and when kids that are younger than me get to my age, just imagine how those kids are going to be. It's going to be even more ingrained in them, just kind of like how we see different age groups use phones and stuff like that. So when I say that point, it's just, it's something that you see coming. So just my
Well, it's the same thing with the internet, right? Like my dad always tells me the story. Well, Hannah, when the internet came out, everyone was so afraid to put their credit card information on the phone. We were never going to put our credit card out there. We were so vulnerable. We never thought how, this is a whole scam. This is going to ruin the country. All these other negative thoughts they had about the internet because it was new and they didn't understand it. It's the same thing we see with crypto and Web 3.0. Same behavior all over again, right? And that's why the early adopters and the innovators are the ones that win in the end, because they see this stuff before it's adopted mainstream. But it's the same process happening over again.
So what keeps y'all motivated? And I know it's 7-Eleven, and we could be talking about this all night. I love talking about this stuff. What is a book that you're reading, or an audio book that you're listening to? And then who is maybe like a Gary V, someone that is really helped you along this journey of understanding crypto, and it's just really giving you that motivation, and just to challenge you to keep sharpening that skill set?
Gary V for me, for sure. Not currently reading any books. About to check out the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. But the motivation for me just comes from knowing the power behind what we're dealing with here. And it's my goal to get as many people on this ship before it just sets loose. And I just know how powerful it is. So that's where my motivation comes from.
My motivation comes from, I've always had it. I wish to be affluent and be able to help the people around me get to where they would like to be in their journey, however that may be. That is just at the core what I like. Under that, I like technology, finance, digital media. All of those are very, nice skills to have, I would say, as well. So that's kind of that's kind of me in a nutshell. I would say I'm just kind of one track minded. I've just always had the idea to just be able to play this game of finance, to get as high as you can, get as many points as you can. I mean, if you really just kind of read books about, a couple of millionaires and billionaires, it's kind of like a game. It's like you get this many chips, you build them in, you keep it going, you just build and build and build, and you just use different vehicles. Book wise, I don't read a lot of books, and I'm kind of getting away from reading books, not away from reading in itself. I love to read articles and short bits, but as we get into a more fluid work style, especially from working from home, it's just kind of hard to find time to just sit down and just read a book. Like, you could read a book, or you could listen to a YouTube book, or an audio book, I would say, or you could listen to a YouTube, what am I trying to say, like a YouTube video on topics. Like I have YouTube Premium, so like I'm able to listen to YouTube videos back to back with no pauses or anything. And I find that YouTube is like the best educator. It's like, yeah, go and get a book, but for that same $15 that you're buying a book every month, you get YouTube Premium. You have access to a wealth of knowledge, several different topics on the same topic that you're talking about and learning. So that is what I would give to people. YouTube, like definitely use YouTube for the power that it is. And a person and a show on YouTube that I would recommend to you is Market Mondays. It actually is about to come on at 8 o'clock, or it is on right now at 7, depending on where you are, or depending on what it is. I'm not sure. It's Market Mondays again. And it's a part of the Earn Your Leisure network. So with Ian Dunlap, Rashad, and also Troy. They if you have not heard of them, you should look them up. Earn Your Leisure. It is a whole movement there. They have interviewed millionaires and billionaires, the CEO of Robinhood, Mark Cuban, Rick Ross, just
this is on YouTube.
You can go to earnyourleisure.com. I always shout them up. They came to Birmingham, and they do stuff worldwide. They had a trip to Africa, to Egypt and stuff like that, where they took 20 people, you had to fight for those tickets, and had I would say an excursion to learn about finance and stuff like that. But if anybody hearing this have not heard of Earn Your Leisure, just please look them up. Just a lot of good information.
Instagram too, Josh.
What?
They're on Instagram too. Yeah.
Instagram. I'm gonna
earnyourleisure.com, Earn Your Leisure Instagram. They just got a lot of different stuff.
I'm pulling them up right now. Sweet. Well, I want to say thank you all so much for joining us. Does anyone have any other questions before we end this show for this evening? Any comments, questions that Hannah and John can answer? Remember, if I'll be putting this podcast up on our Break Thru U podcast, and then we're on Facebook, and it is, let me show y'all. So we're right here. Go on and join. We got some other podcasts that we have uploaded. I'll be uploading this one. Hannah and John, I'll send you the link here as soon as it finishes downloading, and then before I upload it to our podcast. We also have a YouTube channel where we have a lot of the Break Thru Nashville. We got a lot of our videos uploaded there. And I just really encourage y'all, connect with John, connect with Hannah, and really carry on the conversation. I'm glad that we were able to connect tonight. Hannah, Zach, I'm excited that Zach's going to be able to connect with John.
He'll be there next time.
Yeah, definitely. And so thank y'all so much. And from our family to everyone out there that's listening, make sure that you go on to our podcast and Anchor and follow us on our podcast, and also share the video to those that are into the crypto or getting into cryptocurrency. And definitely follow Hannah Rose on Facebook, John Pittspreneur on Instagram. And from all of us, just want to say thank you for your time. Let's continue to connect. And until we meet again, hopefully in person, we're going to meet in person in Franklin with John and Hannah. We'll just do it right now. John, Hannah, and Zach will get something together and do something live. But that's all I have, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you
y'all
so
have
much.
a wonderful evening.